We are live virtually here at the Gouge Performing Arts Center's Facebook Live page here. Chris Heacox, Executive Director of the Jay and Susie Gouge Performing Arts Center at Auburn University. War Eagle to everybody out there today. Thanks for joining us for our third Talkback Thursday. I'm happy to be doing these. And really great to have an Auburn alumnus, our first one, with us, Bucky Hurd. Bucky, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, right?
Yes, sir. Live, as live as I can be right now.
I hear you. What is it, 9 o'clock there or 10 o'clock?
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock here, but for musicians, that's kind of an early start. we do our best work at night when everybody else is asleep.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, it's great to have you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
The last time I saw you is we went and saw the Righteous Brothers perform in Atlanta. Great show. So it's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
And we've been working a while to get the Righteous Brothers to Auburn at the new Gouge Center, and we've got you guys coming on the 5th of November, Thursday. Very excited about that, Bucky.
We are too, man. We can't wait. I think I bugged you and Bill to death about doing this.
No, it's great. And what's wonderful too is we have a couple of alums coming, and I think it's just fantastic that we're able to maybe have you stay a little bit longer, see some families and friends, and
I'm very excited.
Maybe enjoy a football game.
Oh yeah, I'm planning to stick around for the Arkansas game.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll whip up on them this year, man.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I know we've got a lot of people saying hi to us.
Yeah.
Hi to you. But we wanted to go ahead and get started. Native Alabamian from Dadeville, right?
Yes, I'm proud to be from. That's my wonderful hometown, Dadeville, Alabama.
And how far would you say that is from Auburn?
Oh, probably about 20, 25 minutes. That's why it was great. Perfect to go to school there because it's just far enough to be away from the folks, but close enough I can go get a home-cooked meal and get some laundry done.
Absolutely. So I guess there was probably no decision in your household where you were going to college then, right?
Well, the only discussion was my dad's went to med school at the University of Georgia branch.
Okay.
So, I've been an Auburn fan, football wise my whole life. So as far as I was concerned, that's where I was going. And, and actually my brother and sister and I, all three graduated from Auburn. So.
Gotcha. So you didn't start out as a theater or vocal major. Where'd you start out?
No, I actually, it's a scary business being in the theater and being in, an entertainer for a living for many reasons. I could talk for hours on that. But I was kind of running away from it, I think. And so I went for my second love, which is, geology. I was a junior geology major at Auburn. It's kind of weird because I have a theater major, a BFA in theater, and a double minor in geology. So they always say I went from rock to rock. But yeah, so and I was studying geology, and I just on the side I started working with this band, and we had a house across the road from the Hungry Hunter. It used to be in Auburn. And we would set up in the front yard and play, and people would come over from the Hungry Hunter. Sometimes the police came, and I dropped out of school, scared my parents to death, and I went on the road with this band. And then when the band broke up, I transferred all my credits back to Auburn, and decided to get my degree in theater.
That's great. So what performances was Telfair Pete Theater was there at the time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Telfair Pete. My first show I did was an opera. Actually, I did the Fledermaus.
Oh yeah.
That was my first performance on that stage. And then I got to do my biggest role was Hair. I played the lead in Hair along with Daniel Stanton, who is an Auburn graduate and also still in the business, living in New York City.
Okay.
He and I played the two leads in that. I got to do Eccentricities of a Nightingale, Tennessee Williams show.
Yeah.
And then it was just a great experience being in Auburn Theater. I learned so much there. Dr. Ralph Miller, Dr. Cleveland Harrison, who recently passed away, two big influences in my life and helped me beyond measure. And it was just some of the best times of my life there at Auburn.
That's great. And so you graduated in 89, right?
Yes.
And then out of graduation, this BFA theater major and theology minor needed to get a job.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes. Well, I had been working with, I had done 3 summers beginning in 87, I did 87, 88, and 89 in Birmingham, Alabama. They had Birmingham, it was called Birmingham Summerfest. It was affiliated with Town and Gown Theater and Birmingham Southern College. And you had to audition for it, and they would pick an ensemble of 20 to 25 cast members from across the Southeast. And we would go in and we got college credit. Got paid. We lived on campus there at Birmingham Southern and would rehearse shows during the day. So we would do 3 musicals a summer. So, for example, we would get there, we would rehearse West Side Story for 2 weeks, and they would bring in New York choreographers and directors and actors. And but we would rehearse during the day. And then after 2 weeks, we'd put that show on at night, and we would rehearse the next show during the day. So it would kind of rotate. So we did 3 shows every summer and got to work with some unbelievable people, and then would come back to Auburn and got theater, actually got theater credit and got the experience of what it's like to be a paid actor.
That's great.
It was wonderful. James Hatcher was another big influence on my life in Town and Gown Theater. And then my contract ended there, and I wasn't going to have a job again, which is quite frequent in the theater business, it seems.
It is. That gig mentality.
Yeah, at least I wasn't on an oil rig somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. But at that point, I decided to submit to Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, and I've actually submitted to every cruise line and with little cassette tapes, and got a call back from Miller Reese Productions out of Miami, and got a job January the 6th of 1990. I signed on to the Sovereign of the Seas, which was the biggest cruise ship in the world at the time, and was the featured lead male vocalist for the show there. And I ended up working for Royal Caribbean for 4 years before finally moving to Branson in '94.
Where did you guys? Where was your port of call?
I had a couple. My first, the Sovereign was out of Miami.
Okay.
And then I got on the Song of America, which was a smaller ship, which I loved that ship. And that was out of Miami as well. Then I flew to Europe twice. I brought the Monarch of the Seas, which was the new ship, over 6 days across the Atlantic, and then started that ship. And our home port was in San Juan. And then I thought that was going to be my home ship. I was there for a month, and they said, guess what? You're going back to France. So I flew back to France, went to Southampton, England, which is kind of scary because that's where the Titanic sailed out of. And it's a new ship, and you're crossing the Atlantic, no land in sight, and it's new. So it's creaking and making these noises. And it's like, oh my God. So I brought that ship over, and then I ended up going back to the Sovereign, which was my last ship, which was where I met my wife. She's also a performer, and she was performing on the ship, and we met there, and then decided we'd had enough of the sea life, and came to Branson.
Yeah. So Branson, I mean, I'm sure you were just so busy there. I mean, that was the the time there in Branson where there's just so much activity.
It was the best time, I think, to be there. 1990s, early 90s. Yeah. I mean, you drive down the Strip, and I mean, you're talking every kind of act you could possibly think of. I mean, Johnny Cash was there. Willie Nelson was there. You knew we'd have people like John Davidson, Robert Goulet, Andy Williams, Ray Stevens, Mickey Gilley, Roy Clark, Glenn Campbell. I mean, and that's just a few of them. The Strip was back to back. There's an old singer, Jim Stafford. Some of you guys might know Jim Stafford from I Don't Like Spiders and Snakes and Cow Patty and some of those funny songs he wrote. He used to say back then that Branson's an old Indian word for bumper to bumper. And literally it was 3,000 seat theaters packed every night. Wow. It was incredible time to be in Branson. And I was there until, just recently when I started working with Bill. And that's where I met him. He was managing. He came in to run Dick Clark's American Bandstand Theater. And he was there with Paul Revere and the Raiders. He would bring in, he would also book other, big names like, David Somerville from the Diamonds would come in, Bobby Rydell, just, different big name artists from the 50s and 60s and into the 70s that he would bring in, and then they would do shows at night. And so, the Branson networking, I had a couple of bands, and Bill would come sit in with us. And that's how I first met him and got to be friends with Bill.
Yeah. Well, which has turned out to be this wonderful thing for you. I mean, joining the
Amazing.
Righteous Brothers. What about how many years ago? Is it?
Oh gosh,
14
we're
years?
we're into our 5th year right now.
Yeah.
It's astounding.
And so the residency in Vegas, talk about that a little bit. I'm just really interested. I mean, you guys did some gigs out there, but now, and I mean, it just has blown up, hasn't it?
Yeah, we started out with the first thing we were offered, and I was still in Branson, and Bill called me, and we had actually I saw him at a wedding of a mutual friend of ours, and he asked me what I was doing these days, and at the time I was working at a friend of mine, John Susan, has a theater called the Tribute Theater, and I was doing a Journey tribute.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him what I was doing, and he kind of laughed a little bit, like he didn't believe me. And so I said, okay, why don't you come to the show sometime? I didn't think anything of it, hugged him, that was it. And he calls me on Sunday, it was like 2 days later, and he told me, and really, this was the truth. He just came to see me die on stage. He just, he's like, I didn't hear you singing Journey. But that's what got it all started. And we had lunch and met. And he said, I'm thinking about this and that, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. And then the next thing you know, I was at a concert with my friend Paul. We went to see Van Halen, and I was at a concert, and we were in the hotel getting ready to head that way. And Bill calls me and says, okay, well, we've got 3 months at Harrah's, and that's all we're guaranteed. And you have to leave everything for it if you want to do it. So I left the show. I left my students, and I had a month or so to give everybody notice, and I came out to Vegas, and 3 months has turned into 5 years, and the residency started out. We did last year. I think we did 27 weeks in Vegas at Harrah's. Wow. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 6 o'clock show, and then we had probably, I think, 52 road shows on top of that.
Yeah, that's a busy schedule.
Yeah. Oh gosh. And then this year, before this happened, we had another busy schedule. But the cool thing, at least it looks like a lot of the things are getting moved to. Nothing's been canceled on the road. We did lose the Harrah's shows, obviously, but we're supposed to come back at Harrah's in September.
Oh, that's good.
And a lot of the road shows have been moved to the end of the year, so we should have a busy fall and winter. We're hoping. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. With those of us obviously in the industry that book talent also, we're looking at how our theaters can move forward through this and cleaning and everything. And someone sent me a document from the Wynn Hotel about Steve Wynn's been very, very proactive about
he has
sharing that information with the field, also about what they're doing not only in the theaters but in the casinos and in the hotels and everything. So yeah, I know that we're all ready to get back, but it's gonna take some new measures, and Steve's on the forefront, so that's
he is, man. He's creating the template out here. He was the first to close out here for the safety of everybody. He was the first to close, and he's like I said, creating the roadmap to open back up. I mean, it's strange, man. You ride down the Vegas Strip, and the Bellagio fountains are off, and they're chasing ducks off the Strip.
Really.
I mean, it's just amazing. It's dark,
Well, they were showing, the NFL draft last week, which I know you were watching.
Oh gosh, I was so excited. I was going to be right in the middle of that. Yeah.
But I mean, it was supposed to be in Vegas, and they were showing the live shots from Vegas, and just desolate.
Something. It's weird. It's like an episode of The Walking Dead. You're walking down there, and nobody's down there. It's just something. But I can feel, and I know you can too, Chris. I can feel the tide turning. I shouldn't say tide. Sorry about that. But I can feel it flipping around, that we are going to be back in business soon. It may not be. It's going to be the new normal, like they talk about. But I just know that, and I'm confident. Bill's confident as well. I talk to him every day, and he said, I feel confident that things are going to open back up here.
He's probably ready to get out on the road again.
Oh, he's a road dog, man, and he is so ready to go back to work. He said if this doesn't change soon, I'm going to have to go pick him up. We're going to find a street corner out in Palm Springs and throw a hat out and sing, just so we keep our chops up.
That's interesting. Have you guys thought about, because I know that's happening a lot. Are you guys doing anything virtually to keep your chops up at all that you want to tell anybody about? or anything that's helping to support anything right now as well?
Yes, actually, if Bill's not really, he's old school, like I said, so computer savvy is not even in his, to get him to take a picture of something and send it to me is like a pretty big effort. But since things have gotten a little better out there, our music director, Tim Lee, lives out close to Bill, and he was able to go over to Bill's, and he and I recorded here and Bill recorded there in Orange County. He lives in Orange County, and we did the Rodgers and Hammerstein song, "You'll Never Walk Alone," for our medical staff and doctors and nurses that are on the front lines every day, risking it all for us and to keep us safe. And so and it's actually posted on our Facebook page, on the Righteous Brothers Facebook page.
Okay.
They can see that there. And I wrote and produced a song to try to just, it doesn't mention the pandemic or the coronavirus. It's called "We Stand." And it's about how this country always pulls together in times of trouble, regardless of what that may be. And if anybody would be interested in seeing that, I would love it. It's if you go to YouTube, you can look up "We Stand," words and music by Bucky Hurd, and it'll come up, and you can hear that song. But he and I, like I said, we just been in contact with him every day, just trying to talk to our managers to find out, as you are, what the capacities are going to be for these theaters, what they're going to allow us to do. Because if you've got a 1,000-seat theater, you may only be able to put 300 people in there, like you said, as you know. And so we're just trying to figure out the logistics of everything and what we can and can't do. But at this point, I'm ready to go work for free.
We'll be back soon. I mean, we all know that. And we'll have our team also take that video, Bucky, off your YouTube page and post it here as well, so everybody can take a look at it. I wanted to take a minute because we've had so many live comments. Bucky,
I've been seeing people pop in.
Yeah, and you see on the side where it says live comments, and you click on that, you can kind of go through it. You've got a bunch of your friends, Marcy Wayner saying hi to Bucky.
Where can I see that, Chris?
So on your right-hand side where it says private chat and live comments, on the right, do you see that?
I see share screen, cam mic, stop mic.
On the top.
On the top. Let's see.
Side, right-hand side.
Oh, I'm a moron. There it is. Yeah.
Click live comments.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm going to scroll up. Okay.
Yeah, scroll through and see if you see some people you want to say hi to.
Elizabeth Yarborough. Hello. She's I have a crush. I've had a crush on her since first grade. She's my first grade teacher. And if you saw her, you'd understand why. She's still gorgeous. And Marcy, and then Annette, a good friend of mine that we had many, many fun times in Auburn. Hi, Steve. My friend Judy. Jeff, or you Jeff Etheridge.
Jeff takes great photos. Jeff, good to see
Jeffrey's head of photography at Auburn. He was my roommate. And boy, out in Ridgewood Village, I could tell some stories. Robin Abernathy, my dear friend Robin from Lafayette, and Nora Patterson. Let's see, Patricia. Hi, Patricia. My friend Julie grew up in Dadeville. Debbie Johnson Bright, my cousin. Love you. Fran Clark's like a second mom to me. Her and Charles are watching from Oklahoma. Candy Brewer. Hello, Bill. Nelda from St. Louis.
Hey, Nelda. Nelda's a great subscriber of ours.
Debbie Murphy's friend, also these are all dear friends of mine. Susan Clinton McBride. Susan's a dear friend. I sang at her and her husband Kenny's wedding like 30 years ago. Dear friend. Bonnie Morgan from Branson. Miss you guys too. From Camp Hill, the big metropolis of Camp Hill. Becky Watson. Sharon Wilson. I'm just going through and saying hi to everybody. One of my dearest friends in the world, Marilyn Gardner Kelly, and her husband Leon. I go and I usually stay with them when I come into Auburn. So get ready for me to stay with you guys in November, in case you didn't know. Merritt Carruthers, I went to Lyman Ward Military Academy, is where I graduated from in Camp Hill, and Merritt was he and I were in the same backfield together on the same football team. So hello to Merritt, Jeffrey's better half, Shannon. Let's see, and it just scrolled up. Gene Gravitt was a dear friend of mine, our librarian at Dadeville when I went to Dadeville High School for a while. Roger Miller, my friend Dawn, my sister, War Eagle, Dana. Sister in there. My buddy Danny Moore from Branson, Scott Blake. We went to the junior college together and sang in choirs together. Hey, Scott. Nora Patterson's on, my friend Georgette. Golly, lots of folks are on here.
Yeah, this is great.
Man.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Yes, good grief. And just a whole bunch of folks. Charles Sharp, Lyman Ward alumni as well. Rangers lead the way, he said. And man, just I'm very humbled, everybody.
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in.
And also remind everybody that we've got the Righteous Brothers with Bucky here at Auburn on Thursday, November 5th. Our series subscriptions go on sale to the general public on May the 12th, which the Righteous Brothers are a part of those series. And then the single tickets go on sale on July 7th. So make sure you put those dates on your calendar.
Yes.
Website is Gouge Center, GOGUE center.auburn.edu. All information's on there. You can also always, box office is open Monday through Friday. Call our box office at 334-844-TIXS.
That's great. I'm finally hearing the correct way to pronounce Gouge
Yes.
Center.
Gouge
That's real fancy.
Well, it's our president. President
Great.
Gouge.
It's a great name.
We're very happy.
I wasn't sure how we pronounced that. I don't know how I messed that, but yeah. But yeah, we're so excited. I don't wish it was sooner because given the circumstances. But let me just say we're both really, really excited. And I'm, like you said, I'm excited to do some Auburn tailgating again.
Yeah.
And to go check the game and see the game. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah. And, get to see the theater for the first time too, Bucky. I mean,
yes.
That's one of those things. I mean, you went to school here. I mean, you had Telfair Pete, you had a great, venue to be able to hone your craft in, and you had the Coliseum to see shows. But, what does it mean, someone like you, an alum that's out in the industry doing this, to actually have a theater, have a world-class performing arts center like this at your alma mater?
Oh, it's I'm so proud. Well, I've always been proud to be an Auburn Tiger without question, but to have been a part of the theater program there at Auburn was just such an honor. And to be able to now be able to say I'm coming into Auburn to perform at its very own performing arts center, brand spanking new, top class, bringing in some of the best centers and best Broadway shows in the country that would rival anything else we've done or anywhere else we've done. I've been keeping up with you guys and seeing what you're bringing in. It's just amazing, and how lucky the town of Auburn and the surrounding area is to have you, Chris, and to have the Gouge Center at their disposal to be able to go and see these amazing shows. I mean, I saw you guys had the Beach Boys, and we got to open for them a couple years in a row during the summer. We toured with them, and what a great bunch of guys, and what a fantastic, just iconic show to have the opportunity to be, and for that to come right to your town. It's just incredible. And so congratulations to you, and to everybody that has the opportunity to attend shows there at that beautiful facility.
Well, I appreciate that. It takes a village, and we have a great staff, a great administration, students, faculty, staff here at the university that are supporting us, and a city and a town and a region as well. It's been an amazing thing. And, like we said, we're just an intermission right now, Bucky, intermission will be over soon. And
that's a good way to look at it.
And we'll get the theater back up and running, and bring people back together in this community. So again, we have Bucky Hurd, graduate, was it 89 from Auburn University.
Would have been quicker if I hadn't had that little geology detour. It would have been quicker.
Exactly. Hey, you finished.
My dad said you just didn't want to leave.
Well, what is it? It's the 4.5-year plan, so you can another football season, right?
Yeah, mine was like a 6-year plan. But okay.
But the Righteous Brothers are on our 2021 season. Going to have them here on the 5th of November. Really happy to have that. And Wanda, can't wait either. Wanda says you've lost that loving feeling.
Don't lose it. Don't lose it.
Absolutely.
Oh, my friend Robin just signed.
Before we get off here, because we're about out of time, why don't you show? I mean, you're representing today. I want you to show everybody that you got the mug, the shirt,
Okay, this is my pride and joy. This is from our national championship win. Can you see who it's signed by?
Yeah, I think that's someone by the name of Cam Newton.
Oh yes, and it's in a nice, safe little box. And I used to have it right when you'd walk in the house. My wife said, "We can't have that just sitting." I said, "Yes, we can. You own the entire house. I can put this football somewhere." Yeah. So we just bought a house here in Vegas and sold everything in Branson. So we've officially moved to Vegas now. And so when you come into the front, I've got it sitting on top of one of our family antique pieces, and it's sitting right on the top, so that folks can come in and they can see how awesome it is to be an Auburn Tiger. We're going to get us another one of these this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great season this year. Absolutely.
I can't wait. I'm so excited about football season, man. And like I said, I'm super pumped about going to the game.
All right. So I do have to ask you, because we're on and we're both big football fans. So were you happy with the Falcons draft this year?
Yeah, I was. And I was particularly happy with getting Marlon Davidson when that pick came up. And how crazy is that? Did you see on Facebook? He lost his mother tragically at 47 years old. Yep. And he was the 47th pick in the draft.
47th pick. I know.
I mean, is that not her shining down on him? How cool is that? And we needed a pass rusher, and by gosh, I think we got one of the best ones in the entire country.
Absolutely.
Of course, I would have loved to have had the entire Auburn defensive line. I would trade the Falcons defensive line for Auburn's this past year if we could have.
Well, I think one of the things that the Falcons are going to have to deal with is seeing that he's number 95 now, but number 5 twice a year with Carolina.
That's scary. And actually, of course, I was hoping to get him. I knew we wouldn't because we were too far back in the draft. But man, getting Marlon was not a bad second choice. My gosh, I mean, and then we got ourselves a great center. We got a work in progress at linebacker. I think Atlanta's got some good pieces on defense. I think Dan Quinn's going to put it together, and hopefully we'll have.
I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, so I've been a Jaguar fan since '95, inaugural season, and I brought it up too because we got some Auburn love on the team this year as well.
Yes, you do. So I kept thinking. Now, are you a Minshew fan? Do you think he's going to be the dude?
Absolutely. I think he's going to do.
Let me ask you. Let me follow that up with a question. It's okay. I'm going to interview you for a second.
All right.
If you had the opportunity to get Cam, would you think that was a good thing?
Yes, I think it's a good thing.
That's what I'm thinking. He might go. I'm just saying.
Well, again, I had to ask you because I know how big a football fan you are.
Yeah,
and you hardcore. Being in Las Vegas this year and would have been representing the Falcons and the
Auburn. Got to go. I went last year. I got to go to the draft in Nashville, which is funny.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to go to 2 drafts in a row. And actually, I have a nice suite at Harrah's when we're performing there, so I was going to be able to just really look. I would have been on Thursday night when it opened. I would have been right in the middle of it. And so, you got
it in 2 more years. You have to wait 2 years now. So
good. It's something to look forward to.
Absolutely. Bucky Hurd here. Again, we'll have the Righteous Brothers in Auburn at the Goose Performing Arts Center on November the 5th, 2020. Bucky, it was wonderful catching up with you.
Same here, Chris.
Ticket information's on our website. So happy for everyone that's joined us today.
Thank you all.
Yes.
Love you all.
Bucky, you want to go ahead? Why don't you take us out?
Yeah, I just saw Robin, my friend Robin, who's played piano for me. I don't know how many auditions and played when I was at the junior college in Lake City, and she's just a dear friend. But she's defacing our little feed over here with a couple of roll tides. So I just have to do this for her. And but no, it's great to see everybody. Get on, buy your tickets, please. I think they're going to sell out pretty quick. When we went into Atlanta, tickets went pretty fast. So, but not only for our show, please support this beautiful performing arts center. Buy your season tickets. Buy as many tickets to see as many shows as you can there. Support the arts and support Chris and everything the staff is doing there. I think it's incredible, and I cannot wait to come into town.
All right. Stay healthy, stay well.
You too, my brother.
War Eagle to you.
War Eagle.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Take
Have a
care.
good one.